Participate in a conversation with once conservative, now liberal Midwest mastered prepared special education high school teacher and a self-proclaimed devil's advocate, East Coast conservative liberal, baccalaureate prepared registered nurse. These two strangers met, became instant friends, and realized their conversations are candid and epic. So join us weekly, ask us questions, and listen to these profoundly candid friends try to solve the world's problems, one discussion at a time.
Hey, welcome to another awesome episode of The New Theory with Monet and Jared, aka TNT with MJ. I am Jared.
I'm Monet.
And together we are teaching minds
and nurturing souls.
And we are recording on a very special day. One, kind of because of the wonky schedule that Monet and I have been on, given that our school has kind of gone virtual, but didn't go virtual. I can't quite call it virtual because anyway. Wow. And so there's that. Sure. And then Monet with her nursing schedule, it's been a little crazy this past week. And so we've been, we're finally able to connect on this day, January 17th, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Mm-hmm. And I want to acknowledge that in addition to just the awesome background that Monet has in honor of that. So something about graduated from high school at the age of 15, received his bachelor's at 19, master's at 22, doctorate of something at, I can't read the rest of that, but happy birthday, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. We're all about education up in this piece here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We are, yeah. So with that being said,
you haven't figured that one out yet.
What's that? Because Jared's the one with the 2 master's degrees over here. Ridiculous. Needless to say, so we go from that to my brain. We were gonna discuss laws and things of that nature with regards to considering Martin Luther King wanted justice for all.
Absolutely.
He was always in cahoots with the government in some form or the other, and wanting change for people, for all people across the board. So with that being said, we were discussing there are certain events that have happened in Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah, that actually kind of ties into that, specifically in regards to voting rights, and then which really kind of, in my opinion, goes hand in glove with history and education. Because if you're aware of the history, if you've got that education and understand ultimately how the system is supposed to work.
Yeah.
So how the system works. This kind of goes hand in glove, if you will. So in the state of Virginia, in a 48-hour time frame, which really kind of floored me, the first headline I read was the outgoing attorney general for the state had overturned 58 different race-related convictions that he felt perpetuated racism. Now,
wow, beautiful.
As a white guy reading this about another white guy, I'm like, how are you defining racism? So I went and looked. I read the article, and in genuine, it was legit. It was very cool. Overturn these convictions, overturn these cases that perpetuated discriminatory actions or discriminatory dispute. I'll leave it at actions regarding interracial marriages. So on the books, it was interracial marriages were banned or barred, but he overturned that. Then when it came to desegregating schools, when it came to buying property, and stuff like that. So it was a clean slate. He overdid generations of wrongs in one fell swoop.
It's interesting because it's like you were like checking white folks' agenda. Like, did he do the right thing? Like, really? Or was it like,
well, I mean, it's the difference between me calling something racism and then DeSantis calling something racism.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying?
We agree 1,000%. That's right.
That was where my motive was. That's where my
right.
motive
I love
was.
it. I love it.
And then the next day, the newly elected governor, Youngkin, who ran on an anti-CRT platform, by the way.
Y'all don't know what it stands for. It's critical race theory, CRT, when you hear it. Mm-hmm. Just saying.
And for those that are shrieking, oh my God, CRT, he said it, or they chill. It's not taught. As an educator, I can tell you it is not taught in any way, shape, or form in any K-12, much less pre-K classroom. No. So I laugh at those legislative bills that ban CRT from being taught in a pre-K, but whatever. Much less, K-12 public school, because it's not. That just shows how ignorant you are. At any rate,
exactly.
That reminds me of another article I posted about the brigade, the march against critical race theory and how that started and stuff like that. At any rate, I digress. So the incoming governor, the newly elected governor, Youngkin, has in one fell swoop signed an executive order banning critical race theory from being taught in any K-12 public school in the state.
But it's not even.
And then on top of that, at the same time, has also banned any mask mandate across the state.
Coming from a...
So we got two angles to hit. Where do you want to go with first?
I'm like this with the mask mandate. It's now proven, if you haven't realized, just being a citizen, you don't need to pick up a fucking book. The masks have decreased the flu and the common cold drastically. So it's like, hey, I want to keep your seasonal germs out of my face. Let me put this on when I'm in public places. And COVID is still killing people. I'm here to tell you, COVID is still killing people. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but the fact of the matter is, we have to be cognizant of each other. Somebody was like, I heard somebody record a video. I got to get a vaccination. We all got to get a vaccination to keep each other vaccinated. But if one person is vaccinated, we can infect everybody. I was like, well, not really, but it's called herd immunity. So if we're all vaccinated, therefore, we're really going to protect lots and lots more people than not protect them. And I'm like, yo, when you don't have a science background, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep your opinion exactly where the fuck it is. Sit on it like everybody else does every day. Wipe it when you use it. Wash it when you shower, and just keep it pushing. If you did not go to school to get the degree, now, if you feel so compelled, I would thoroughly encourage you to go to school, get that degree so that you then can become an authority. But until then, don't fucking act like you know every goddamn thing. And I'm talking to everybody. I've seen Hispanic people, Black people, white people with this conspiracy theory bullshit. And I'm like, oh my God. You as a medical professional, you sound like a dickhead. I don't know what else to say. Like, I'm keeping it 1,000% real. Y'all want to talk like that and act like, I mean, I can try to sound professional, but what you understand, you sound like a dickhead better than you sound unintelligent. Because as soon as I say that, you're like, intelligence is perspective, whatever. Okay, no, you just sound like a fucking idiot. Okay, that really sums it the fuck up. As far as the critical race theory, what people don't realize, like, what is that? Your stomach, Jared? Like, no, no, it was a car. But
yes,
as far as critical,
and speaking of dickheads, that was one driving down the road. So
yeah, right.
sorry.
There you go. Critical race theory. Why are people so fucking afraid of it? You know what it is? It's like everything is muckety muck, and critical race theory kind of thins things out so everybody can see, oh, this is some of the bullshit that happened. This is some of the bullshit that affected all of us. This is some of the bullshit that affected these minorities and those minorities. And the people that were here, the Native Americans, the ones that were here before somebody just quote unquote discovered it. Like, yes, this is what it does. It helps broaden your perspective. When you see a race of people, a minority group, look, and I'm talking about white people too, ones that feel disenfranchised in the mountains of West Virginia and Kentucky and shit. You know, they feel subjugated. They feel like nobody cares about me. You know, if you're of a white people of a certain socioeconomic background, they feel disenfranchised. That's what critical race theory does. It doesn't just discuss minorities. It discusses people that have been disenfranchised. But, you know, that shit, I mean, you don't even need a fucking degree to understand that shit. Right and wrong. You learn that shit in kindergarten.
Yeah.
I play with kindergartners. I suggest the world get certified that you're not a freak and go play with, you'll see real people.
I like that. So they'll be a freak. Get certified first before you go play with kindergartners.
Yeah. Make sure you ain't sick and go and watch how we're supposed to fucking act. Okay? Yeah. You'll see them fight and resolve it, or they'll come and ask for help to resolve it because they want resolution. And then they still become friends. I applaud myself that I do dip into my 5-year-old self as much as I can. Because that bitch knew every goddamn thing. She knew what she didn't know, and she knew what she needed to know. And she was a good friend to everybody. So there you go.
Well, as an educator, I'll tell you that, or remind you and remind others that critical race theory is actually something that was developed back in the 70s that examined the legal and educational system and the systemic racism that was a part of that, within those two areas. So with that being said, reading and I posted something about this earlier in this week, or last week, I'm sorry. And sorry, I'm trying to find it right now. Where did it go?
That's okay, because
but I had posted something about it in regards to, I was reading an article from the African American Policy Forum, and a line from that article stuck out to me. And so if you understand that that critical race theory ultimately examines policy, because it's systemic racism, right? It's a little redundant if you think about it, because racism by definition is a system. So to call it systemic racism is redundant, but be that as it may, it's something that can ultimately be alleviated through policy, right?
Yes, that's right. Policies
to
be examined, and they see where, okay, you're being prejudiced or, really
discriminatory against
people.
one group or another. Disenfranchising one group or another. Exactly. So this was the statement. In principle, CRT, critical race theory, allows for the possibility that racial disparities and persistent inequalities can be alleviated via policy intervention. But, or put it another way, the campaign that was launched, i.e. the anti-CRT movement, hey, let's ban teachers or bar teachers from teaching certain things because, oh my gosh, we don't want to make white kids feel uncomfortable when Black kids are feeling comfortable every day, but that's okay. But, whatever, that campaign. So put it another way, the campaign that was launched is not merely a battle against the theory of racism or American history, but a battle against the idea that we might join forces to make American society more fair, more equal, and more kind.
Simple. To me, that's simple. Just kind.
Yeah, I feel a little bit poignant being that today is MLK Day.
Exactly.
Because that's kind of, I have a dream.
That's right. Period. Jared, I'm just, I'm happy we have this platform. Hopefully I pray that this year it blows the fuck up and people are like, why weren't we listening to you almost 2 years ago?
Not necessarily us. I don't care if you listen to us, but at least listening to people that are sitting, spouting the same message.
Exactly.
Espousing the same message of compassion, kindness, growth, education, acknowledgement.
And when we say education, it's not necessarily the formal degree. It's not the degree. It's just enlightening yourself to have knowledge based on evidence that has been placed in a conduit, whether a book or a computer article, but it has to be, you can't just read some articles because they're not valid. There's simply somebody's opinion. And then in that takes the responsibility of you knowing the difference between what an opinion is and what fact is. And that's actually not hard because they usually use evidence. They use statistical analysis, and not just statistics and numbers, throwing numbers at you, but like, how many flu cases have we had this year as opposed to last year? There you go. You don't even, it's like this. You can see a graph like this. Oh, okay. Because we were wearing masks, but whatever. And critical race theory, yes. Did you see that there was a video of an officer in Florida, a female white officer was pulling a white male officer off of a black person, and the white officer turned around and started choking the young lady, because she was like, calm down. If I can't tell these motherfuckers they need therapy, like, y'all need to learn how to retrain on how to not be unnecessarily aggressive. Okay. As a nurse, I got training to get spit on, yelled at, and not react. I did. Real shit. I'm pretty sure it's teachers too. There's that self-control. I can't just pull out my belt and start whipping your kid's ass. Even though I want to, can't do it. So with that being said, cops need to be like, I know I have to be physical. I literally sent in Far Rockaway, New York, I sent 2 police officers on. They said, "You sure, Monet?" I said, "Yeah, I got them." We had a belligerent, just a disorderly drunk. They got picked up by the cops, and instead of taking them to jail, they bring them to us. To me, it's like, no, they bring them to the hospital so they can sleep it off. I'm literally like holding this man, and they're like, "You good?" I was like, "Yeah, I got him." And then I held him so that he can get shot in the ass, and then we threw him down, and he went to sleep. But the cop was like, I was like, because I have more self-control as opposed to the cop trying to smush his face into because, and then that's just going to make him react even more. I'm like, no. We can't do that. We just need him to go to sleep. Once he wakes up, he'll realize, oh, okay, I was drunk and disorderly. Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
It's the chemicals in your body now affecting your brain. It's like talking about work. I have in race, because that's usually most of our topics.
I was going to ask you about this. I'm glad that this kind of naturally transitioned into that.
It did.
You had posted a little bit of something about this on TikTok. So
I have a beautiful.
But didn't reveal the whole thing, I guess.
No, on TikTok it's full. It's the whole video.
Okay.
But Facebook only uploads like a snippet. So,
Gotcha.
And on TikTok I'm a sleepy mom nurse. But on the TikTok I discuss, because I'm going to start a series on TikTok that'll probably tie into our podcast eventually. But it's stories from a dyslexic nurse, because, here we are with dyslexia. There you go. Let's talk about that. And I found out that dyslexia and autism are not the same. And that I do have the component of ADHD. So, track my conversation. It is always all over the place. Whatever. And then I'm the right and left. I have a problem. I'm an auditory learner that still has to do this for right. Because I'll write with my right hand and I'll do this for my left, because I still have issues with knowing that it just is, Gotcha. Anyway, but whatever. So we move on from there. My coworker, beautiful redhead, about almost 6 feet tall. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No. Okay. You're good.
Beautiful redhead. Like, I think she has like greenish hazel eyes. I don't know. I'm not, everybody knows, women are beautiful, and I will acknowledge it when I see it. regardless if it's, she's a beautiful woman, but she is, and she's tall, slender. Right. She kind of floats when she walks. And it's true, it's across the board. You want to know one thing about nursing? Most white nurses work during the day and minorities and blacks work at night. It just is what the fuck it is. I'm not kidding. It's true.
Okay.
You'll notice that. And the white nurses during the day are kind of vicious at our hospital. And you're like, New York? Yeah, even New York. It's everywhere. And she was not subscribing to the program, okay, where you criticize people that you don't even know on a regular just because you can. Because, and mind you, these particular nurses, about 4 of them, are definitely in that age range where that's the status quo. They've been nurses for 25, 28 plus years. So that generation. And so they're definitely in their 50s and 60s. And they're just like, everybody's stupid and they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Okay. And nurse has also been in nursing for about 20 something years. They were talking to her and she's just like, okay, so where are the patients? Like, she's just letting them know, like, that's not my stilo. I just want to do my job and go. And, I guess they didn't like that. So she came in because, like I said, she kind of floats, and they called her agency and said she was under the influence. That's like somebody saying, one of your coworkers, Jared, has been touching a kid. Like, real shit. Is that not going to affect somebody's livelihood? Is that not going to fuck up? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Because she is BLM certified. That's what we're going to call it. People that have been with the struggle since the beginning. Okay. She has like disconnected or disassociated herself with individuals. She had a boyfriend for 10 years and he was just like, oh, BLM, it'll blow over. All these people, black and white people, need to just get over it. And she was like, and she kind of like said, well, let me ask you a couple more questions. And she was like, I wouldn't really rate him as a racist. He's just like, he's still, drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak. Like, there's no such thing as white privilege. And she's like, so she said, but she straight up said white bitches to me. And I was like, we gonna go to jail. Somebody gonna arrest us. She better shut up. So let me stop. I was like, you can't say it. It's like, anyway, I didn't say it, but
that's funny.
I was like, oh my God. Anyway, she was like, yeah, these white bitches. She's like, and that's what it is. She said, Monet, that's why I always work in minority hospitals. I work at hospitals where I can just do my job, and the caliber of my work is recognized as opposed to whether or not I'm the most popular nurse. She was like, but she had to go home immediately. When her agency called her at it had to be like 12 something in the afternoon. She had to go, not home. She had to leave the hospital immediately and go to a place to go piss in a cup that happened to be an hour and a half away.
Wow.
So she go somewhere, hour and a half away, piss in a cup, of course, and they took her blood. No, she's not high. She's not drunk. She's nothing. But honestly, though, if she was drunk at the beginning of the shift, you really think by 12 o'clock, whatever. But she wasn't. I'm just saying. People are dumb.
Yeah.
She had nothing in her system. But had she had a mimosa, or like, let me get my shit straight because we about to go into the jungle, just, throw back a tequila and get on with it so we can kind of smooth ourselves out, or a quick glass of wine or whatever.
I'm not judging.
No, I'm not.
I say that. I don't want to be like...
I know, like, it's okay, get fucked up.
Yeah, no.
No, but I'm just saying, like, out of respect for each other, come to me. To me. Talk to me. Let's question it. Shit, if you want, I'll piss in the cup right here at work. Let's get that shit out. Because if, like I said, something were to have happened and they found something, like I said, her kids smoke weed in the house, she said, what if it just kind of, she's sleeping and they are like, being funny, blowing the shit in her face while she's, I don't know, like, people do fucked up shit. My thing is, and she would have popped, like, what the fuck would y'all have done?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that would have been her nursing license right there. Just because you don't fucking like her, and people like, how do you know, Monet? Because I the fuck know. And it's truly what did happen. We had this very discussion. And she's like, and she doesn't even know about the podcast, Jared. But she knows how fair I am and how authentic I am and how real. And I definitely already considered her an ally anyway because of how she treats everybody. But this really just, you know, she's like, we got to get together. When she wants to get out, she wants to get away from where she lives. And she's like, I want to come here. I was like, I don't know if Pennsylvania any better, but
yeah, Arkansas ain't the
I can
place to be.
try
I'll
to
tell you
help you
that.
out.
I'm sorry. You know,
we gotta, I think maybe if we just stay where we're at, we gotta make it better. Let's just, I don't know. But with that being said, the last discussion I think we're having, because what's our time, little brother?
We get about 10 minutes.
Good. Our last discussion is about an article you posted on Facebook, written from a Black person to white people.
Oh yeah, the article is "Can We Really Be Friends with White People?" is the name of the article, and it's written by a Black person from the perspective of a Black person.
And Jared's
and it was really a lot of it. I was like, okay, cool, I get it. You know, or it's just more of a not necessarily. I don't know really. I don't know necessarily how to describe it, because I'm like, okay, cool. I've heard this before. I get the cookout reference. I get the barbecue reference. I get the, hey, I'm inviting you to the cookout. Hey, I'm inviting you to barbecue. Whatever, Yeah, you can even come in the kitchen. You can even come in the kitchen.
Yeah, right.
And understanding what that means.
Yeah.
But there was something in there that he had written, something to the effect of not being the source of education, not being the source of, if my white friend's got a question about Black culture, that I'm the fallback guy type situation.
All right, so
you know what I'm saying?
Deal. Yeah, here's the deal. Jared is like, I get it, because see, Jared is of a different beast. Jared goes out and buys books, and he really, like, his ear is to the rail. Okay, he's ready for it. Okay, he researches it. But we often talk about my level, not necessarily of education, but my educational labeling. Okay, being dyslexic. Yeah. I always equated to people. It really did feel, for 16 years of my life, I felt like I was in the dark. People would talk at me and not to me. And it was just like, boom, boom. I don't get it. No, it's not helping. Until I started utilizing tools to start shedding the light, like putting lights on in my learning environment, which really helped me tremendously. But a lot of it was communication. So when somebody's like, don't use me as your Black encyclopedia, I take offense to that, because, mind you, I had a very interesting childhood with having an Iranian stepmother, having a Korean stepmother, having and then marrying someone from another country. I kind of did have to use these people as my, what do I do in this situation? Is this appropriate? Is this like, so it's like, I take offense to, like, no, if you're really friends with somebody, then you will answer the question. You will help guide them in the right direction. Why don't you do a book club and y'all read the same fucking books together? I digress. With that being said, so Jared's like, but Monet, because that's what Jared do. He just do. And what did you say?
Oh, shit.
You basically was like,
I felt myself convicted a little bit, because I was doing the same thing.
Well, we
and
do
I have
that.
been doing the same thing. But at the same time, I am, unlike this guy's white friends, or I guess to whom he might be writing this to. That's redundant. To whom he might be writing this. I am, to your point, reading, going out and getting the books. I'm doing my, and when I say research, I'm not talking Google search, guys. When I'm an academic, so I'm fucking doing the research. I'm legitimately looking. I'm going down that rabbit hole. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm doing the reading. I'm doing the research. I'm doing the education on my own. But I guess for me, it's more of asking for a perspective.
Yes.
Not necessarily. I want the knowledge. I just want, hey, this is what I've read. Can you provide me some in real life perspective to this?
There you go.
I don't know if that's right or wrong or if that's fair. That's kind of.
To me, I feel like, yeah, that's perfect. Do you know what I'm saying? But Jared's a different beast. There's some white people that are like, I don't even know where to find these books. Do you know what I'm saying? And like Google is, like I said, it's what we sit on every day. It's somebody's asshole. So it's like, all right, you can trust some of the things you read, but then you still need your Black friend to be like, I need your perspective, like, because this don't sound right, or is this for real? So
yeah,
as a Black friend, I feel it is our due diligence to help guide, like help and like, because to show that, look, we're all human and we're all fallible. Okay. And
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Is there, and of course, the conversation that you and I have had, I kind of get, I feel like I've got an idea of what the answer is going to be.
Yeah.
But I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Mm-hmm.
So do you see a difference between someone coming at you with already having some base ground knowledge, if you will, and asking a question versus someone who has no idea what the fuck they're talking about asking the same question?
You know what? For me, Jared, I always rule on the side of just help them, okay? Because if they're being an asshole and they're asking a question and they already have their mind made up about something and they're trying to disprove, I'm going to give you the God's honest truth, okay? Now, if you don't like it and you want to bring in your ignorance, then go on and do what you got to do. But because the thing is, I'm trying to show you, I am the representative of my culture, my community, my people, of the good people. And I'm talking about white, Black, Hispanic, everything. That's me, okay? Sure. And naturally, I am Black.
And we should all be representatives of humanity.
Thank you. So with that being said, yes, but that's my thing I was about to say. We haven't hit that level yet. So naturally I'm Black. Gotcha. So then I have to. So when people say, well, I don't like when, like the guy in the article was saying, we're playing basketball, and the white guy goes, I can't believe I beat you. Yes, he is saying that because Black people tend to be good in basketball. So just accept it for what the fuck it's worth and not start henpicking like, okay, well, I feel like that's the racist. No, we talk about cooking in white community. I'm not saying all white people. I've had some absolutely delicious food cooked by white people, but some, Black people do use a little bit of seasoning, whereas some white people didn't. They'd be like, I didn't even think to do that. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's just so it's like, okay, look, I had some Spanish fucking rice and corn and shit. And I'm like, yo, I didn't even think, and then look, I'm Black, but it's true. So with that,
you should have known better because you're Black.
Yeah, right.
What the
fuck? So because we live in a world we do have, cultural differences, racial differences, and we haven't reached that plateau, that mecca of, there's no color. Well, no, we haven't reached that yet. But in some regards, I like that we're different.
Well, and I don't even want to say that there's no color. How about we're all? I know it's cliche. I know it's going to be
Jared.
But
it's cute.
It's something that we said a year and a half ago. All shades of the same color,
We are.
We're all shades of the same color on the same spectrum. There is no. I mean, you want to know what white and Black is? Look at my background. That's
exactly.
White and Black. You want to know what white and Black is? Look at Monet's background. That's literally white on Black, white letters on Black background.
Yeah, we don't look
That's
like
what white
that.
and Black is.
That's right. We don't look like that. We are all colors of the same shade. We are all shades of the same color.
Of the same color. Yeah.
There you go. And to me, that is more poignant.
Same Africa.
That's right. And beautiful. Anyway. So we will get there because we're teaching our children that. We're opening our eyes to the wrongs that were made, because you know what? If we keep, we don't fucking horse and buggy it no more, people. Wake the fuck. I'm tired of telling y'all. It's called evolution.
There's no such thing as Santa Claus. Sorry.
And so, exactly. And so with that being said, when me and Jared, y'all have to understand, when you talk about Black friends, you have your coworkers and your associates. But when we do call each other brother and sister, not because it's cliche, not because, let me explain something to y'all. We don't always talk about politics and race. We talk about shit that Jared knows I'm going to Walmart after this. Why? Because we had our pre-conversation and we be talking about shit you talk about when you talking to your loved one. Yo, what you doing today? This, that, and the other. Do you know what I'm saying? We talk about relationships. He knows more about all of my relationships.
Yep. And on that same note, she knows more about my marriage than I'm sure.
But I mean, real
but
shit.
I will say that whatever it is I share with Monet, Cedar is very aware. My wife is very aware of what it is I'm sharing. So it's not so much I'm keeping things away. So
no, but it's that. Sometimes you need a shoulder on both sides. Sometimes you need a perspective on both. Like, he's a man, for heaven's sakes. He's my brother. And some of y'all like, yo, no, there is an authentication. Okay, there's things that y'all will never know that we talk about because that's how private we are with that. So when it comes to these relationships, you have to be an authentic individual in order to expect authentic return. Okay, so it's what I put out exactly, and what he puts out that makes a good relationship. So with that being said, like give us our final word. Yeah, our final word is we've transcended race in our relationship. So that's what you should be looking for. Our final word is we're looking for you to look for a better relationship with people of all walks of life, different sexes too, and say, I'm going to put out there what I'm expecting, because in this new year of 2020, we expect goodness, kindness, and love. 2022, I keep doing that. Sorry, y'all.
But the point remains. Kindness, respect, and love.
Kindness, respect, and love. I was just about to say that, but I'm kind of goofy, so it stops. Love you. Bye.